All right, welcome everybody to Mobile Scanning Application Part 2. Last time you provided a lot of feedback about the flows we went through. So Anastasia took all the feedback very seriously, and she's been working hard with the team to give you a new view of what this is going to look like. All right, everyone's quiet, so I assume that means we're all ready to rock and roll and take a look. So we'll start with the receiving process. So we're going to be using, this is going to be my main application that I'm using. I'm using a local host, and then this will be my WMS. And then as you saw last time, I've set up things to have cheat sheets that I can scan. So if we go into, for example, let's look at some of our inventory items that we'll be using. We have our friend, the Acer laptop computer. And you'll notice in this cross-reference tab, we've entered these barcodes for a single computer, a box of 10, and a whole pallet of computers. So those will be our different scan codes that we use there. We'll also be using maybe a Lego one, an industrial machine, and I believe widget. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. I just have one for widget 01. I thought I had some other ones. I guess just the Acers have the different units of measure. And all these are going to eventually be set up in, oh, here we go. The Powerade has that as well. The Powerade, as you know, is lot numbered, and then the AA machine is serial numbered, so we can walk through those different options as well. So that should give us a good variety of things that we can look at and do as part of the test cases. So let's start with receiving some goods. So in this flow, we're going to go in and we're going to enter a purchase order. So I'll go ahead and create a new purchase order. And we'll pick our first vendor that we usually pick. Simple PO for barcode receiving. We'll add a couple of items. Do our widget 01s. And we'll request 25 of them. You can see there's no real complexity with those. And we'll go grab the Powerade in case we want some lot numbered items to go grab as well. All right, so this is all nothing new. Take it off hold, approve it. Okay, so now we're ready to start receiving and getting your feedback. So the first point of feedback is we received information from you all that you don't necessarily want to have to go in here and enter a PO receipt. So you'll notice that if I open up my mobile application, log in. Also you'll notice I simplified the menu here a little bit. So I'm going to click this one called Warehouse Management. And we're going to do this one right here called Receive and Put Away. Let me push that again. There we go. And now you'll notice that we can scan the receipt number. But in this case, I'm actually going to go grab this purchase order number. And because I don't have a whole list of items, I'm going to be using this free application again to go in and scan things. So I'm going to keep this on a different screen so you don't have to keep seeing it, but occasionally I'll be entering those codes into there so I don't need a whole printout of everything. So I'm going to go scan that off my screen. And you can see the new receipt is created and ready to be processed. So the next thing it asks for is the location. So it's not asking for a warehouse at this point because I believe I have a checkbox to use. I think that's an option that you can select. Correct me if I get any of these wrong, Anastasia. But I'm going to go scan the barcode for where I'm going to scan this into. There's also options. Actually, let me go into this preferences screen real quickly. You can use a default receiving location.
As for the warehouse, it is defaulted from the user profile.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought I messed that up. Thank you, Anastasia. Um, and then you can go in to use the single receiving location. This is another important one that's going to impact the workflow of how I'm scanning things right now. All right, so let's go back to my device and I'll scan the location barcode. And next, it's going to ask me to scan the items. So the scene here is that I've got a whole bunch of items that showed up on my dock. I scanned the purchase order, and now I'm going to scan where I'm going to put them. And now I'm going to scan the barcode of the item. So in my infinite wisdom, I forgot all the items that I need to grab here. So we need 25 widget 01s. So let me go grab the item. So I added this. So now you'll see that we have this set quantity button that we've added down here. I don't think you saw that the last time. So I could continue scanning different widgets, or I could hit this set quantity. So for this one, I'm going to hit set quantity. I tell you what, and before you give feedback, let me get through this receipt and then kind of think of all the feedback you want to provide, and then I'll stop and we can do that. And now I'm going to scan the quantity. I could have a quantity scanner. In this case, I'm just going to put it into my Android device. Okay, so I have the 1, and then it added additional 24. Next, I want to scan my lot serial numbered item, which is my Powerade. So I'm going to go grab that one. And now it's asking me to scan a lot or a serial number. This could be interesting. Let's try one of these. Okay. And maybe I want to set that quantity to, I don't know why I picked 11. Scenes quantity PO receipt. Oh. To add a new line in the receipt. Oh, I see. I received a box of it for some reason. Sorry about that. Huh. All right. A new line receipt. So should I hit remove, Anastasia?
You can add, you can just click OK.
Okay.
And the system will add a new line, which is not related to the PO.
Okay.
The direct receipt line.
Very good. We're going to have a ton of this stuff coming in. Okay, so now we've received everything. You'll notice we get this feedback right here that says we've completely received it. And now I can go up here if I choose to do it. And you have two options, release receipt, which means accept everything as is. And then complete purchase order lines means go in and if you have under received some things, it means mark those as completed. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the top one called release receipt. And that's our new process. So let's go back. I'm going to go back over to here to my purchase order. And I'm going to click refresh here. So you can see here's my quantities that are on receipts. I should also have the actual receipt number that appears here. Let me open him up so we can take a look. And
here is a separate line. Yeah, right.
So this is why I scanned a box code, and I thought I scanned the wrong code. I scanned a box code instead of the individual code, so we added a ton of stuff. From here, I could go edit it if I needed to, which I might do if that's all right with the, oh no, I already released it, never mind. So I received a whole bunch of it, but that's okay, it's not gonna hurt anything. You'll also notice up here, if we go into allocations, we should have our serial number there as well. All right, so that's the scanning and receiving process. Last time you gave a lot of good feedback on that. Anybody, I'm going to take a pause here and see if anybody has any comments.
Yeah, it's Greg here. I'm not sure if I missed it. Are you setting one location and then you're an item, then an item, then an item, or can you change a different location for each item?
That's a good question. If I have not checked this box here, you could set a receiving location for each individual item. Since I have this checkbox, I set one single location and then received all my items.
And does it prompt you for the default receiving location for the item? Like, does it like direct you to where that normally goes?
So if it would, does it do like directed put away? No, it doesn't do that at the moment.
Okay.
So it doesn't say like, this is a widget and all my widgets are in this location, so therefore you should enter that location. Is that basically your question?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, no, it doesn't. That functionality might be coming in the future, but not available right now.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, Doug, this is Tom. Do we have any idea about doing a lookup against those POs? So instead of having to scan the PO number, we can just see what's out there and we select off of a list?
Good suggestion. I don't believe that's built into the application just yet. Is that right, Anastasia?
Not yet.
Okay.
Any
Yes,
plans?
This is Bob Black. I would echo that same. The receiving, they don't normally have a copy of the PO out there. Sometimes it's referenced on the paperwork, sometimes it's not for whatever's being received.
Yep.
And to look up an item that you can scan and possibly see a list of POs that might be on, then you could select the PO and then go from there.
Yeah,
That's
so
a good idea, but the thing is that the list of POs is very huge, and this approach will cause performance issues, because just to load the list of POs, for example, in a medium company containing one item, it will take about, let's say, 10 minutes.
Anastasia, what if you just did first select the vendor, right?
Vendor, yes.
You select the vendor because you're going to have some paperwork saying we just got this from go-to vendor, then select just the open POs for that vendor. That's got to be a much smaller list, I would think, for you to pull back.
So you will need to enter a vendor and an item instead of one thing?
No, you'd enter the vendor first, and then you could do a lookup against only those open POs for just that vendor.
well, no, that's a good suggestion. We'll take a look. Or worst
Okay.
comes to worst, we can put a dashboard up there. You can see this dashboard's close to having, it may not be optimized for large volumes, as Anastasia was saying, but we have the notion of a receiving clerk that can have different things that he's going in to look for. So we'll take that as good feedback.
One option would be possibly you scan the actual item, and then you're only looking for POs that have open lines with quantity pending for that part number. So now you get a filtered list of only the open POs that have pending receivings.
Okay.
Again, a very big list of to search through.
Make sure that's optional, because I know I have clients that would have performance issues with that.
Okay. Yeah, so that would be an option that we'd have to turn on or off. That was you broke up. Whoever that was broke up a little bit, but the basic notion was that we'll make it would have to be an option in case there were performance issues. Okay, good. Any other comments, ideas? Let's see. I ran through it pretty quickly, but once again, it's being recorded, so you can go through and look at it in slow-mo on the recording if needed.
Doug, any plans to do a directed put away? So instead of scanning the location, it will tell them, the warehouse user, to go to this location and then scan it as a confirmation.
Yeah, somebody asked that. I can't. There's This is Rev 1 of this.
Oh,
so
I know. I'm just
that's
asking.
yeah, no, it's definitely something we know that people want. But for right now, we would recommend an ISV product out of the
Okay.
out of the box.
Was there anything related to unit of measure done? Because you said receive 11. Well, it could have been that there were 11 boxes of 12, maybe
Yeah,
something even partial.
we do units of measure, and I scanned a code, or somehow I messed up my codes that did units of measure. So you can scan. Let me pull up my Powerade. I'll do a little looking. Oh, that's what happened. Yeah, I scanned 4444 instead of 3333, so I scanned a box. So that's why that's where I got myself into trouble. So you can see a box is 10.
Yep.
So that's what happened.
That's where your quantity went over.
Yeah. But that's all right. I got to just demonstrate that functionality.
Is there any plan to have these barcodes come from standard GS1, Global Standards 1 organization barcodes for products?
We thought about this, but this is for further consideration. I mean, as for now, we do not support JS1, but we're planning to do this.
Yeah, that one's important because almost like importing a supplier catalog, this is importing the supplier's list of what barcode is what product and what UOM. Bring that right to the system, and but you don't have to enter it to. As soon as they add 444P, and that's a layer on a pallet, that'll automatically be in your system.
Right.
That's the whole point of GS1.
Okay. Good. Yeah, no, that would be useful to have that. So
Hey, Doug, on the correction thing, you know how you accidentally scan the box versus the eaches, and there was a button there that you were debating on clicking on. Does that remove the whole receipt, or does it correct just that line?
there's two options. You can reset, which basically gets rid of everything, and then there's remove, which gets rid of a single line, I believe. I might have my commands mixed up, but there's a command that gets rid of clear is the one. There's a clear command, which gets rid of everything that you've put in, and then there's a remove, and when you hit remove, you actually have to scan things to take it out.
Okay.
So I could have hit clear, but if I had hit clear, then I would have had to have gone back and rescanned my widgets. If I had hit remove, then I could have removed just the Powerade.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking the question. Because we have clients where they have multiple packages, so they have like an inner pack, and sometimes they scan the wrong barcode because they're labeled wrong.
Right.
In remove mode, you can also set quantity. So you can remove just one box in this case, or you can remove all 25 boxes.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
All right. So good feedback, guys. Thanks very much. Next up, we're going to move on to the other side of the house, the sales, picking, packing, and shipping. Unless you have anybody with any burning issues on this, otherwise I want to keep us on track here. All right, good. All right, so let's go in, move from purchases to a new sales order. And we'll go grab a customer, a new SO for demo. We'll grab some of those things we just received. We'll grab 2 of them.
You better sell a bunch of those things you received in boxes.
Yeah, the Powerade. Good suggestion. We got a whole bunch of this Powerade sitting around. So here we could specify eaches or boxes. Maybe we'll do 20. Okay. And now that's our sales orders. Then if there had been approvals and other things, we would have gone and approved it. And then basically this is ready to go. Now on the sales order side, I actually have to go in and create a shipment. This can be automated, as everybody knows, so we can go in and make that happen if we need to do it. But I'll go ahead and create a shipment. And as soon as I have my shipment, we're ready to switch over to our mobile and start the process. I already know we'll head off one of the questions before we get it. So on the dashboard, we'll have the shipping clerk that'll say orders to ship. But right now we have to go into we're going to have to actually scan this shipment number immediately. So it'll be the same issue I think you got to otherwise. So let's go to pick, pack, and ship. And I'm just going to enter this rather than copying and pasting it into a barcode. So I'm going to go 00175 1. Okay. So the first thing you can see, I have to scan the barcode of the location where I'm going and getting this from. Oh, let me lay a little more.
Whoa. How do they know what location to go to?
Let me lay a little more background. So there's pick, pack, and ship. We're doing there's no directed pick. And there's the ability to do pick and pack and ship all in one step. Mm-hmm. There's the ability to do a pick and then a separate pack and then ship. And then the last option is you go pick it, pack it, and then you can select a different carrier or option, a shipping option. So those are the three basic, the three primary workflows that we would go through there. But directed pick is not currently available in revision 1. Okay. So right now, the way they'll know what to pick, it'll be on if you actually go in here and print the pick list, it'll be on this pick list. That's how you would know where to go right now. But we don't have it built, and it'll be this one here as well. But we don't have the ability to go in and say, oh, go to this location and pick it without looking at the pick ticket. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and scan that. Okay, so now I can go scan my item. I'll start with the widget 1s. So we'll go grab one of those. Now at this point, it's asking for another location code. So I'm going to go scan that same location code. I could have entered quantity 2 if I pull them both from the same location. I kind of took the long route, and now I'm going to scan the other one. So now I've got the 2 widgets. At some point, if you need to, if I'm confused about where I am in the process, I can hit this review button.
So there's no kind of marker to know that row has been totally picked yet. Like right now on the pick, pack, and ship, when you see it on the screen, the row turns green once it's done.
I believe that's true. So let's go actually open up the screen.
You have the same identifiers like green lines, bold lines, and so on in web. But in mobile, these warehouse staff just needs to do their job, and there are no identifiers that of complete picking and so on. The system will just tell you if you've finished picking the particular shipment.
So it's already showing the R1 S1 there on the screen. It would be extremely helpful for that to just replicate that location right on the handheld.
There is no opportunity to replicate the same in a scanner, because as you can see, the scanner screen is very small, and all the mobile application is made in the way to minimize the number of rows, the number of elements on the UI of mobile.
Yeah, but this is such critical. Rearranging screen sizes to be able to display the location is going to have to be done, I think, eventually.
Okay.
Having that field is critical.
Agreed. It's critical.
So are you talking about kind of a directed pick here then, or is that basically the notion that we need?
Yeah, take it from a WMS guy. I was selling WMSs for like 8 years. You got to tell them where to go, tell them what to do, tell them where to go next, tell them what to do. So if you eventually want to get the paper out of this and have them do barcode scanning, it's got to be some kind of a prompt. They got to go to row 1, shelf. Because they don't, the whole point is you don't want them to know where the items are without looking at the gun.
Yep.
Because that way, if you don't have a gun, you can't just go and grab some Powerade. You don't know where to look for it.
Okay.
And eventually, they don't even want to have a piece of paper. They want to, when they finish that pick, they want to go back. What's the next order I need to pick? And it's right on the screen. That way, you could sort it in any way you want for critical items on top, less critical orders on the bottom. If it's next day air, it needs to go, it's bubbled to the top of the sort order on the handheld. That's the next one I need to go pick. And they don't even have to have a paper piece in their hand.
So you were talking about direct picking, and we are thinking about this in the next phase of WMS.
Yep.
Hey, Doug?
Thank you.
Until the directed pick shows up, currently when you print the pick ticket, which is what we're going to need to do, at least for the time being, can you add the barcode of the location? Because we have the location on the pick ticket, but the barcode isn't on the form yet. Can you update that? Oh, you do have it now.
Yep.
Okay, because that's the one that we have in the last build didn't have the location barcodes on it yet. Because right now, this is the only piece of paper you need because it's got the shipment number, the location, the item, and the quantities that they're looking for. So this gets us a little bit closer, at least with this on it.
I actually have a
We
problem with that.
sorry.
If you
We actually modified the pick ticket so that it includes we have some items that they don't have barcodes on because they're special pack or whatever. And so we actually added for those items, the item barcode as well, so they can blip it from the pick ticket. And then the last part that we did is we added it for lot numbers because in their case, their lot number, even though they had barcodes for everything else, their lot number didn't have a barcode on it. It was a stamp. And then last but not least, for their most common packaging, in the footer, we added the 4 most common boxes that they use for packaging the scan.
Yeah, good. So keep in mind this pick list I showed you right here is a Doug Johnson sales demo special, which means that I created it quickly to do some demonstration. But yeah, like serial numbers not here and other things, I don't know. So all right, no, good feedback.
So if you get it, so is that going to be? Can you update the sales demo data to have the Doug Johnson special in there?
It is in there.
This is there.
It is.
This is already
there.
there.
Okay.
But I got to say, I don't like the idea of barcodes on the pick list. It's great for a demo because you get something to scan, but out in a warehouse,
right?
Somebody's supposed to go and scan the Powerade. They can scan it off the pick ticket and pick up the Coca-Cola.
Oh yeah.
So
that's why we only included for the one. That's why we only included that for the items that do not have an actual barcode.
Thanks.
So, for example, if it's got the normal, in their case, they're using UPCs. So, if it's got the normal UPC code, that barcode will not be there.
Good.
Makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Somebody else had some comments too. I think it might have been already captured. Anybody else, real quickly before I keep going? Okay. So let's go grab our Powerade. And I'm nervous because so now I've selected it. So now I'm going to go grab some Powerade. And now I got to add this lot serial. And it's strange that hopefully it'll allow me just to go in and grab all the ones. It split it on my pick ticket. So I'm going to go grab that. and I'm going to hit set quantity. And let's see. So if I wanted to, I would set this quantity to 19 and then go scan another one. Do I have to do that, Anastasia, or can I just barge through this and hit 20?
Yes, and you will receive an error.
Oh, good comments. All right. Enough making fun of me. All right, let's put in 20 and it's going to get my error. There you go. All right. Pick cannot be greater than quantity. Scan the quantity again. Let's try this one more time.
Hey, Doug, what button are you putting to get the keyboard up there?
Yeah, so I was curious myself too.
You just push you can't see it, but I'm putting my thumb in anywhere in this area.
Okay.
Right, it's just the Android automatically ups that.
I'm an iPhone guy, so.
All right, so let me go grab this last one. I'm going to go one more of those. Need my item. And I need serial number 2. Okay. All right, so now you'll see I get the feedback that the whole shipment's picked. If we switch over back to here and I hit a refresh, wrong one.
It's cancel, not refresh.
Yeah, I know. Copy, paste. I don't think it's done. Oh, here it is. So that's where we stand at the moment. Okay. So everything's turned green. And now I'll return to, go ahead.
Quick question. If that was a serialized item instead of a lot number, because lot numbers obviously, you were able to do the whole group, could you enter the set quantity to 20, for example, and then it would loop through for all the serial numbers?
You cannot set quantity for serialized items. The system will show you an error.
So they have to blip the item code and the serialized item each time. The serial number.
Sorry?
So they'll have to blip the item code and the serial number each time.
If you
for serial numbers.
If you scan a serialized item, the system will just ask you to enter the serial number and will not allow you to change quantity over 1.
That's not what he's asking.
Yeah.
He's asking if you're scanning 20 televisions, do you scan item number, serial number, item number, serial number, item number, serial number, or item number, and then 20 serial numbers in a row?
Oh, you need to scan item, serial, item, serial.
Okay, thank you.
I would suggest that be a consideration for very quickly to be a version 2.
Okay. So you're suggesting scan item number, and if there's multiple quantities, then you just select serial.
Right, so they can get through it quickly.
And then that would obviously be an option depending on how, does everybody pick that? Does the whole world pick that way, or is it kind of split?
I've never seen it a different way.
Okay.
Yeah, neither have I.
It's common for me.
All right, that's good. That's what we're looking for here. And obviously, I don't have the whole world on the phone, so we're not going to get a complete answer, and we'll do some more diligence before we make any changes. But I figured I'd poll the audience. All right, very good. Thank you, guys.
And so yeah, when you select an item and it's a serialized or a lot-controlled item, it'd be really helpful to see a list of the available lot numbers at that location. To say, yeah, I'm really picking this one, or this one's buried too far behind other inventory. I really want to pick this other one instead of the one that maybe was assigned to the order.
Okay.
Yeah. And another comment, when you walk up to a location and you're picking and inventory is wrong, and that does happen frequently in warehouses, to be able to say, okay, I've got 5, I need to pick 20, I've got 5 here. Where else are there 15 more that I can go pick somewhere?
Okay. Yeah.
Doug?
I don't recall who said that, but to put these warehouse guys in a corner that they can't get out of, they stop using it about 10 minutes later.
Okay.
One last suggestion, Doug, for the pick. If let's say we had a quantity of 11 and we warehouse them by, one bin location has boxes. is there any thought about directing us to pick one for 11 eaches to automatically pick one box of 10 and then one each?
Not at the moment. I mean, that's certainly a great idea, but that's right now. That's our
Because
ISV
that's
product.
another pretty common thing where you'd have a quick pick location for eaches, but then you've got like box locations, and you don't want to pick 11 out of the eaches bin. You want to pick a box and then one each is, again, typically how it might be done.
Okay, good. All right, so that was option one. Then the next thing that I'll go in and do is confirm the shipment from here. And that'll basically get it to the point where my shipment, if we come back over here, you'll see it's confirmed. And then if I needed to, I could go through the regular invoicing process. All right, let's do one more. We're going to do scenario 2, where we do a pick and then a pack. So I showed option 1.
Hey, Doug.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt. At the end of that, then, if you have device hub set up, just like we have pick, pack, and ship now, where it would spit out the label and the packing slip, it'll still be able to do that, okay?
Yes, I haven't tested that and I can't show it, but it's in the spec to do that, and I assume it would work. That it would work with Device Hub to print out your labels at that point.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so we're going to go in and do a new sales order, and we're going to simplify a little here. We'll pick, let's see if I can find one that's not going to be, okay, simple. We'll do pick and pack in separate steps. And let's just do something simple here. So we can, I'm not going to do any lot serials. I'm just going to grab 2 of those guys. Okay, action, create shipment. Okay, now we've got this guy. This time I will scan it. Oop. All right, so let me go start this process. So I'm going to scan my shipment number. And now I'm going to go scan my location. And the item is widget 01. And if I wanted to, I could do set quantity 2. Okay. All right, so now at this point, I have the option to do 2 things. I could scan a code called star pack. It's a special barcode that you would have. Or I can go down here into my change mode area, and I could expand that and hit this pack button. I don't know which is preferred, but both are available. Okay, so now we're ready to start packing. And you can see it's looking for a box barcode. So let's go ahead and grab a medium-sized box. So I have somebody else said they print all their common boxes or other things there, so you could have a sheet with those in your packing area. So now we go in and scan the box, and now we start putting the items into the box. So there's no need for locations here. We're just going to go, I should have had a couple different items, but it would, if I go in and scan that, you'll see that now I can confirm that my box is complete, or I can continue to scan. So I'll put both widgets in one box. If I wanted to, I could hit OK here, and then that would well, maybe I should do it just to, well, that's all right. I'll just finish this up since we're running out of time I want to get to some other stuff. Okay, so now that's packed. And now to confirm the package, I go and hit OK here. And then we enter the total weight of the package. say it was 2. And so now we've got that. So let's go back over to and show you what's happened over here on the control copy. So we've packed this, and I have to, there's a pick, pack, and a ship here. I'm going to click manual view, which will show these different areas. So I can see that there should now be, sure why I have 2 packages. There's my media.
After packaging.
Oh, it was auto packaged. Okay, yeah. So good point. Yeah, I should have. So you have to turn off auto packaging for this to work properly, since I manually packed it. Thank you, Anastasia. So that's what's been done so far, and then we can either confirm the shipment from here, or your other option is to go on your mobile device and up to these dots here and confirm it. Now, I'm not going to go ahead. Any feedback?
No. For the auto packing, this was turned on. So what is it doing? It's just looking at the item and what the recommended. I mean, exactly what is it going to do for auto packing? What do they not have to know or do? How do they put individual items in a box if it's auto packing? Or
they can't. So what I just did didn't make any sense, because my inventory item's set for auto pack, and then I manually packed it.
Okay.
It's probably going to actually error out when you go to confirm, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that. Let me see if I can get rid of this guy somehow.
You can delete it from the shipment itself.
Yeah, that's it. I knew I could go get it somewhere.
Doug, since this works with the device hub, would it be able to pick up the scales as well?
We will support scales this year, but not yet. This device hub.
Okay.
And here's a question, because this works kind of backwards from what you're doing now, where you can scan like 5 products and then scan the package ID and then go on to the next package pieces. You know what I'm saying? And pick, pack, and ship.
So you want to scan. So when you're packing, you want to scan products before you scan the box. Yeah. That's the way your product works now. So when you do pick, pack, and ship, if you're doing it manually, you'll scan like 3 products or whatever it is that's going to go in the same box. And so you scan the 3 products, and then you scan the package, and then you scan whatever products are coming next in that package. That's how you guys have it set up now.
As for now, it works a little bit vice versa. So you are opening the box first. You open the box first. So you scan the box, then you put items one by one inside this box, and you scan items, item. Then you close the box with OK and enter the weight.
So I think
afterwards you can open the next box.
Hey, Anastasia, I think the question is, if I'm using this screen, I actually go select a box. Oh, no, that's the same thing I did before. Yeah, you're right. So we select a box first, and then we put the items in the box.
The way I'm actually using it at 2 sites right now is we're scanning the products, and then we scan the box, and it's currently
the customization. Yes, right. You are talking about the customization.
No, it's not. It is not customized.
It was the previous way, which was inherited from the customization. We just.
You mean when you use the pick pack, the existing pick pack and ship?
Yeah, right. The way there was a little bit different, but we changed it now.
Let me poll the audience here. So we got 2 options. We can scan all our items and then scan a box, or scan the box and then scan items. Real world scenario, I was going to think scan box first and then items, but let me know if there's a difference of opinion on that.
No opinion from Greg.
No opinions. All right.
Yeah, box first, I would say. I think you're right, Doug.
And then, so then in order
Me
to
too.
be backward compatible, we have to consider supporting that other mechanism if we want to be backwardly compatible. That's the note I'm going to take down. I'm not going to promise we're going to do it, not going to say that that's what's going to
We
happen.
didn't release the previous customization. I mean, pick, pack, ship was always a customization, and it's strange to be compatible with the customization.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, no, I got it.
Right. The only issue is that right now this will cause extra steps for them because the way it's set up, you actually have to go down into the menu. And I have this, you know, I have two clients where they're going to have to pick the box every time because they don't have a way to know what they don't have automated packaging because they can't. So in doing that, it becomes a scenario where, because they would end up having to click every time and go down in there. Whereas right now they're just flipping a sheet for their box. You know what I mean? They're from the bottom of the sheet in one case in particular. So I think I don't know because in their cases they don't know what's going to fit in the boxes, and sometimes they end up undoing and redoing it until they know what they're going to put in. Do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of one of those. I think for my one client, it will be a real hassle for them to pick the box first. And I know that the way that showed on the menu to me, it seemed kind of awkward.
Yeah, I can see both where both would be needed. If there's if it's people that have very repetitive operations, they're going to want to pick the box first and scan stuff and throw it in there. If it's small items going in big boxes, but if they get to a point and then they get stuck, then they may not want to have to clear it out. They may want to start scanning items first and then say, I fit all these things in. I don't know. All right. Well, we'll think. We'll leave that open for now because I want to get through some other things. But we'll take note on that. Okay. I'm going to go now. There's a couple options. I can confirm this. The other option would be there's a refresh rates, which I'm not sure because I've been mucking around with boxes that you can do from the mobile as well, where you'd go in and generate. This would be the shipping stage. If I go in right now and hit confirm shipment, it's going to accept the default that was selected for doing the default shipping method. But if they want to go in and do ship separately and rejigger what the guy is who they're using for shipping, they can do that here. So I'm not going to do that just because we got to keep moving. So I'm going to go ahead and complete that one, and now we're done. So if I go back to the shipment, refresh, you'll see it's completed and I can go invoice it. All right. Good feedback there. I want to hit some quick functionality here. So we're going to start with, let me back out of here.
storage lookup.
Yeah. We're going to do an item lookup and a storage lookup. So let's first look up an item. I'll click the item and I'll scan my computer, and you'll see I can now hit this review. It puts it into here as it's loaded the inventory ID. I'm going to hit review, and it'll show everywhere it appears, and I can drill down on that. There's 3 different locations where that exists. And then the other thing, of course, I can do is go into storage lookup, and I can grab a storage location. Warehouse first. Thank you. 1 second. Let me do this. I want to enter wholesale into my scanner. Now I go and grab the location and hit review. And this is going to show me all the items that are expected to be in that area. And, well, there's a lot of serial numbers here, so there's a whole bunch of stuff, but this would show me all the items in here. Okay, so that was from last time. I think that was some changes that were made from last time.
Hey, Doug, what build are you using for the demo today?
Special build.
Okay.
All right, and then the last one is physical inventory counting. Well, it's not the last, but it's the last one I think we're going to have time for. So let's go do a physical inventory count real quickly. So I'm going to go into inventory. I'm going to prepare a physical count. And I'm going to select this simple one, just picking computers at my retail store. So you can see it's a very limited thing I've got to do. So I'm going to hit generate PI. Arg. Oh, I've already got one in progress. Hold on. 1 second. This one, physical inventory review. Let me go get rid of this guy. Okay, try again. All right, so now we're going to come back to this guy, generate a new physical inventory. Okay, so now this is something that we can go accomplish also from our mobile device. And we'll go to prepare, scan and count. So this guy right here. So now we need the reference number of the PI count. So I'm gonna, what's that, 5 zeros and a 6. Okay. Now we start with this location ID, where we're going to be scanning from. And let me just type it in. I don't have a location ID standing by. Okay. Scan the barcode of the item. So we've got our Acer laptop. And probably I'm going to do a set quantity more times than not on this. And we'll set this to 20. Next, I can go do another item, which unfortunately I don't think I've got these set up with barcodes yet. Maybe I did. 1 second. Oh yeah, I just used the name of the item. So let me go put those in. ELECOMP 1. Okay. And I can, oops. Anyway, I think, what did I do wrong there? Oh, I was supposed to, no, I don't know. It's saying scan. I wanted to enter a quantity. But this is the process that you go through to scan and count. And then when you're done, you can hit confirm. And it just saves the count. So now if I come back here, you'll see where I stand on these things. So that's the physical inventory count process. And then the last things that I'm not going to show, because they're really quite simple to do, are these guys, where you go through, you can do an inventory issue, transfer, and receipt. And those are all on the device here. So you see there's scan and transfer, scan and receive, scan and issue. So it basically goes into the inventory and will automatically create a receipt, an issue, or a transfer for you. So that's the quick whirlwind tour of what we've got prepared. I appreciate all the feedback. I went through physical inventory counting a little too fast, but any input on that real quickly, or any other final comments before I shut the meeting down?
This is Jim again. I need something similar on the, for the serialized items again. You know what I mean? Where right. Instead of going item, serial, item, serial, item, serial, if it could be all, item and then serial for the quantity.
Okay. Great. And that's on the PI, on the physical inventory counting too.
Yeah, because usually their shelves are grouped, so once they get to that item, it's all right there, so they don't have to keep hitting multiple codes. So
Great.
So it would also be really nice to have a prompt. So if you count an item and the quantity doesn't match what's in Acumatica, a prompt saying, you know, that doesn't match, would you please recount it? A lot of auditors accept that as a second count.
Okay.
And
Great.
and there's times you'll have inventory you come across in a location that you're counting that's not in the system, so you'll need the ability to add an item.
I believe you can do that, right, Anastasia? Let me.
Yes, right.
That can happen, Bob.
Just a separate line will be added.
Yeah, I didn't show it because I snuffed out my time, but yeah.
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
do that.
fair enough. That's great.
Okay, here's one more whack job idea. Could you display the mobile app, please? One thing I've done with the pick, pack, and ship screen is used Google text-to-speech to turn into a voice-based app. So if you open one of the transaction screens, you've got the prompt, scan the shipment number. Just have it read that and go text-to-speech so it says out loud or over the person's headset, scan the shipment number, so they don't have to keep looking at the screen.
We have this item in our for future consideration. We will think about this and try to implement pick by voice too.
Okay, I didn't think it'd be an immediate thing, just for the roadmap. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys. Good feedback as always. I appreciate it. Thanks for going through round 2 with us. Thanks again.